What can we learn from the tribe of Dan? The tribe of Dan was the group of people who descended from the fifth son of Jacob, Dan. Jacob had 12 sons, who became the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel. The history of the tribe of Dan is especially instructive to us in that it contains multiple examples of the tendency of people to follow man-made religion over biblical faith in God. This is totally contrary to the scriptures that teach us no one will be declared righteous in his sight by observing the law. Romans chapter 3 verse 20. And without faith it is impossible to please God. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. As the Israelites came into the land of Canaan by lot, certain areas of territory were assigned for each tribe. The tribe of Dan was given a tract of land that was smaller than the other land grants, but was fertile, and also had a boundary along the Mediterranean Sea, where there was fishing and commerce available to them. However, the tribe of Dan never fully conquered this area as a result of lack of faith in God. This was true of the other tribes as well, as the early chapters of the book of Judges clearly teach and lead to a time during the period of Judges where it was said, in those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. Judges chapter 21 verse 25, Judges chapter 18 verse 1 to 31 tells the story of the people of Dan falling into idolatry. They also did not like the territory that was theirs, so they sent out spies to find a better area. In the north, some representatives of Dan learned of an area where a peaceful group of people lived. The tribe of Dan took things into their own hands and wiped out the people of that land, so they could then move the entire tribe up to a region close to the sources of the Jordan River, just south of present-day Lebanon. There, they established their main city and called it Dan. Later in the history of the Hebrews, the kingdom was divided after the region of Solomon. The king split into Israel's 10 tribes in the north and Judah's 2 in the south. The people of Dan were in the northern kingdom of Israel. We learn in 1 Kings chapter 12, verses 25 to 33, that King Jeroboam was afraid that those who lived in his kingdom in the north would still go down to the southern kingdom to worship at Jerusalem, since that was where the temple that God had authorized was located. So Jeroboam built 2 additional altars for the people of his nation to worship. He established worship in the south at Bethel and in the north at Dan. He built a golden calf at each location and instituted special days and feasts when people would meet. Sadly, this man-made worship at Dan has been one of its lasting legacies. Today, many people follow various man-made religions and are convinced that all ways lead to God. Unfortunately, these groups follow the ways of the tribe of Dan. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 25 tells us that there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Jesus taught that the way to God was specific when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. John chapter 14 verse 6. John chapter 3 verse 36 teaches that he who believes in the Son has everlasting life, and he who does not believe in the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abides on him. To learn from the mistakes of Dan would be to worship the God of the Bible alone and live for him by faith. Unfortunately, the tribe of Dan is not mentioned in the book of Revelation. He is completely removed, and he does not get sealed with the rest of the Israelites that are sealed by the seal of God in Revelation chapter 7. He is completely removed and replaced with the tribe of Manasseh. Manasseh is one of Joseph's sons.